at that time, doing underground comics, I don't know too much about, like, was it something you made a living at, or did you have a job?
I mean, in the beginning, I wasn't even paid. At a certain point, they started giving me $20 for each comic, But in the beginning, I wasn't even paid. I had a boutique. I had in Los Angeles. I had been kind of a denizen of the Sunset Strip. I knew all the rock groups and made clothes for a lot of them. I was really into, designing clothes. I made clothes for Cass Elliot, who couldn't find anything nice in her size. I made shirts for David Crosby and Donovan, and I made like velvet bell bottoms for their girlfriends, So when I came to New York and decided to stay, first thing I noticed was that I thought that the clothes they were wearing were kind of they could have been better. They were kind of square and conservative because in LA we were much wilder. And rents were so cheap. I rented a store for, I don't know, like $45 or something, just a storefront, and I just started making clothes, so I had a boutique. So that was supporting me.
It looked like you had kind of started your career in comics as kind of on the fanzine side, is that right?
Well, I did a little, when I was a teenager, I was a science fiction fan. I did do some drawings for fanzines, but I don't think that affected my career in any way. I really started really being published in 1966 in the East Village Other, which was the Lower East Side, New York underground newspaper.
And what made you decide you were wanting to do comics?
Well, I drew. I mean, I had always drawn. And I did even go to art school, but I dropped out because I wanted to draw real drawings on paper, and they wanted me to, do huge wall-sized abstracts where you throw the paint at the canvas, and it just, me and art school we didn't work together, So I dropped out, and as far as I knew, I just liked to draw these little drawings on paper, and because I had read comics like mad when I was a kid, but when I hit high school, I put away comics as childish things and turned to science fiction, But then in like 1965 or so, my friends started saying, no, it's different now. You have to see these Marvel comics. They're amazing. They're not like the comics you read as a kid. I started reading the Marvel Renaissance, and I especially loved Doctor Strange and Thor because they were the cosmic ones, and I just loved that because I was always a little cosmic. But it was still guys. It was superheroes. It was muscular guys punching each other out. Well, okay, Doctor Strange just did this thing, but the others just went, pow, and it wasn't something that I could draw. I just didn't draw like that. But then around 65, somebody showed me a copy of the East Village Other. I was living in LA, and this was an underground paper that came out of New York, and it had comics, but they weren't superhero comics. They were like comics that had to do with the counterculture, with my lifestyle, with the lifestyle of my friends, And I thought, okay, this is what I want to do, And then in 1966, I came to New York. I visited the East Village Other offices because a friend of mine from LA was the managing editor. So I met everybody. I met the editor, I met the publisher, made friends with them. And I did a little drawing, which is like my first comic. I consider it kind of an uber comic or something, because it was just one. Or an or comic, maybe that's the word I want. It was one drawing of a girl that I called Susie Slum Goddess, who was based on a song by a local art rock group from the Lower East Side called the Fugs. And that was the beginning of my so-called career, my career.